Vice President of the United States. Somebody a long time ago said it's like not worth a bucket of warm water or something like that. It's actually a pretty cool job. Air Force Two, you get your own plane. And as of the mid-1970s, you get your own house. A lot of people don't know this, but there is an official vice presidential residency or residence. It's the Naval Observatory. Let's go ahead and put that up on the screen, please. It's on Massachusetts Avenue in Washington, D.C., and it is a beautiful mansion on a hill. Oh, so they told me my mic fell off. Excuse me. Anyway, I actually was in that house once. When was it? 2003? Not to brag here, but I had dinner with Vice President Cheney. It was very, very cool. All right, so here's the deal. Why are we talking about this? This weekend, Joe Biden may make his announcement of who the pick is going to be. It's all academic, of course. They're not going to win. Want to bring in our guest. We have Doug Wead standing by, presidential historian, friend to several presidents. I'm sorry, did we just lose Craig Shirley? Okay, Craig's gone. That's all right. Doug, good to see you. First off, I don't know. I just want to dispel this. I keep hearing Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris. Joe Biden had it written on his notes, Kamala Harris. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to be Kamala Harris. What are you hearing about who this might be?
Well, Greg, there's a good case for Kamala Harris because the first rule, like the first rule of medicine, is do no harm. And a lot of presidential candidates have done harm. You remember George McGovern in 1972 picked Senator Thomas Eagleton. It was such a perfect balance, and from Missouri, a border state that they needed. But he apparently gone through depression. He had shock treatment that came out from doctors, and McGovern dropped him from the ticket and had to make a switch. It was not pretty. It was ugly. And then there was Geraldine Ferraro, great. A woman, the first woman on a national ticket, and she was a great debater. Everything was cool. But in the middle of the debate, they found that her husband, who had been a slumlord in New York, had dealings with the mafia. It tainted badly. That's why I think Kamala Harris, she's so thoroughly vetted. They might have learned that lesson from history and say, let's go with her.
All right, listen, one thing about Geraldine Ferraro, and I don't think she was the best pick. I mean, let's face it, the only one Minnesota. But I actually ran into Mr. Zuccaro once, and, you know, the media, they slimed him. He was a good man, and he owned a lot of real estate. When you own a lot of real estate, hey, just ask Trump. They try to give you a hard time. I don't think he was associated with the mob, but that did not go down well. Now, Kamala Harris, I don't feel like it's going to be her. Can we talk, though, about Dan Quayle for a moment? Dan Quayle and George H.W. Bush, 1988, shocked a lot of people. I remember I was really surprised. I was reading it in the newspaper. He was only like 40 or 41 years old. But here's the deal about Dan Quayle, my sense. Two things. Number one, he's a hell of a lot smarter than anybody in the media realized. He wasn't that great on camera, but he was extremely savvy politically. And I also heard this. In person, he was like off the charts. I heard a woman say once, he's beautiful. He had this like weird effect on people in a room. He was that good looking. Anyway, history hasn't been too kind to George H.W. Bush on that selection, though, has it?
No, and I knew Vice President Quayle quite well, and Vice President Bush, who became President Bush. I was at that Admiralty many times that you talk about, but I'll tell a story that's never been told before, and I think it's old enough now I can get away with it without getting shot. And that is, George H.W. Bush was going to pick Jack Kemp, and the background searches on Kemp kept unfolding, and Kemp made a lot of sense. He was completely vetted. He was a great debater. And when some of the stories came out about Kemp, he decided in the last minute, we can't do it. Who's the next in line? And the next one up was Dan Quayle. And so they had not vetted or done the depth charts that they might have ordinarily done when they picked Dan Quayle.
My understanding, and I don't want to get into too much detail here, but the thing that was keeping Kemp out in 1988 would not have been a problem today. It's a problem in fair. Am I alluding to the right thing?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right. It probably wouldn't be a problem today, but it was a problem then, no question about it.
And it wasn't a problem
took Gary Hart out.
In 1996. Wasn't he Bob Dole's running mate in 96?
Absolutely. It was okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will know soon. And I think you have the theory as well that a vice presidential nominee, and Nixon said this, can't really help you, can't win a state. It can only hurt you. So it's like a do no harm thing, right?
Absolutely. And the other reason I liked Kamala Harris is she brings a little bit of balance. It may be a sister soldier moment for Biden to pick a prosecutor. She's married to a white man. It's very different. So some say she's not strong enough for the blacks. I think that might be part of the fit, that she might be considered a bit of a sop to the police and show that Biden's not completely captive of the left. But we'll see. She doesn't believe in free speech. She wants to take away Don Trump's Twitter account. So it might be better having her as vice president than having her as attorney general.
All right. I don't think it's going to be her. You know, she went nowhere in the primary. They didn't like her. And
I hope you're right.
We'll see. I think it's going to be that congresswoman from California. I think her name is Bass. We will see. Doug Wead.
Could be. And whoever it is will probably be president someday.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, well, that's assuming if Biden wins, which you should see
right.
my report from last night. There's no way Biden's winning this thing. No
Good.
way.
I'll watch it.
You can write it down.
You're right.
Please do. All right. Thank you, Doug. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Greg.
All right. Coming up.